Hey, this is Chris with Ugly.Teacher.Hiking. Today we got a new canister stove. It's by AOTU. It's a great little cheap stove from Amazon. I think you're gonna like this. Let's check this out.
Ugly Teacher Hiking. I hike it so you don't have to.
Okay, before we can do anything, we gotta get our little stand out. And this is more of a redemption from the last video. I had a heck of a time putting this together. Let's see if we can do it quicker this time. So once we get the both legs in, okay, I think that's the easiest thing to do. This side, I think we found out last week. Okay. Heck of a lot quicker this time, but still not quick enough. We're gonna have to keep trying that. So keep in mind, the little table is not what we're looking at. We're looking at this bad boy. I got it from Amazon. I paid $12.99 for this. $12.99. Came in a nice little plastic case. Case is pretty cheap. And the brand is AOTU. AOTU. It's your pretty typical canister stove. Thing I like about this, it's got some weight to it. We'll see later on the dimensions and everything. It's got a piezo lighter. I think every stove should have one nowadays, and it shouldn't even be in question. It didn't come with any spare O-rings. Hopefully that won't pop out. I don't know, it's a little too bright here at the beach. Oh yeah, I can see a little spark. Let's open this up. Opens up fairly easy. We got 4 little stands. The cheapest part of this, I feel, are these little parts right here. The rivets seem very loose, but who knows? This could be the next best stove ever. Now, the only problem is it's very windy at the beach. I know a propane canister stove, it shouldn't really matter, but still, we want to check this out. All right, so this is what we have going on here. This is our AOTU stove. I got a medium-sized canister. I think this is the 8-ounce one, 8-ounce canister. I have a 4-ounce, but I think it's about to putter out. And our typical kit. Let's see what we got in here. Well, today we're going to use this as a coffee maker, a GSI coffee rocket, I believe it is. I don't know. We'll try that out. We got our GSI cup. We got our 550 cup that we usually use for these tests. And I am not going to need any of the stands, and I'm not going to use the windscreen. I may regret that. And this week we got a lot of extra coffee, So let's set this bad boy up. Let's see how well this works. Now, before we even set this up, I found something interesting on here. I want to show you. There's like a little hook right there that hooks this into, kind of holds everything together. I've always wondered why more don't do that. So they stole my idea maybe. But yeah, it's a great idea to do that. It's nothing more than like a little piece of metal just coming off the side. Yeah, more companies should do that. So let's use this canister. Let's just screw this on. But before we do that, let's make sure that's off. That is off. And let's see how much of a mess we can make. Now, with these stoves, I don't like not getting extra gaskets. Okay, there we go. So before we even begin, let's open this bad boy up. That's relatively easy. I did it with almost one hand. I just had to hold down the canister. Okay, this is typical cup I would use. Kind of still moves around a little. It feels relatively stable, and the table underneath is stable, so I don't know. Let's turn this on and see how it works. Oh. Okay. Why did that take several times to start it? And why is the whole thing wiggling like that? Okay, it started right off the bat on that one. All right, we got our 16 ounces of water, and these times are not going to be reliable. Let's put that there. Matter of fact, today we're not going to time it. We're just going to give it a couple minutes, see how it goes. Right now we're working on about 40 seconds, 20 seconds to the time. It took me about 20 seconds to get to my stopwatch. The more and more they update these watches, the more and more difficult it is to find things. Now it's very windy. Yeah, we can't go off the times on this. It's pretty loud too. It's throwing a lot of heat off to the side here. But when you're camping, you don't always have the options of having a windscreen. Well, I can feel it on top here, so it's definitely getting to the water. So we're going to have to take the times with a grain of salt. They're not going to be true times, just for the wind and the fact that it was such an awesome day out. Awesomeness needs to give it a little time. We're basically at almost 3 minutes, and I can see the water churning. So probably another 20 seconds, it should be done. But like all canister stoves, it's quick, it's fast. I don't think that is really what you have to concentrate on, because canister stoves are going to be just fast, unless you're in an extreme environment. But this canister stove, for the money, for 13 US dollars, seems to be doing pretty good. And you don't have to have a lighter. My BRS stove may be half the size, really small, but I have to have a lighter with it as well, which I don't like. But you always have a lighter with you anyway. So we're at about 3:13 right now, or hold on, didn't add the time to it. We're at about 3:40. Now keep in mind, it's very windy here. Waves are crashing in, the tides are changing. When tides change, it has a tendency of getting a little windy. Birds are acting a little cuckoo out there. I think they found some food. Ooh! Okay. We're at basically 4 minutes. Let's turn that off. Now we got to figure out how we're going to pick this up. That. Okay, let's do this without dumping over like I did the other day. Put the lid back on. Should have gotten this prepared a little earlier. The great thing about this GSI coffee rocket is you just have to take it out, open it up. It goes right like this. Now the whole thing here is you got to make sure it's in there. Take our baby water bottle with the coffee in it. I'm putting a lot more in there than I did the last time. Make sure that's in all the way. Now, that should be pretty hot. I love titanium. Okay, as you can see here, we have 4 ounces, 8 ounces. Who's going to drink a 4-ounce cup of coffee? We're going to go directly to 8. Remember, we have a full 16 ounces in here. I don't know how much fits in this cup, but I think it should fit the whole thing. But we'll just watch all that coffee goodness going down. I can tell right now, even with this extra coffee, it is still very light. I'll put the name of the brand of the coffee up in the upper right hand corner. But it's very expensive coffee. They sell it at REI for $20. I got it on clearance for $10, probably because it might be a little old. That could be the reason why it's not cooking exactly the way it should. Give that a minute to steep through. Portable camping, hiking, cooking stove. It was from Amazon in this great little packaging. Let's measure the packaging. So from top to bottom, it's approximately 3.16 inches, 80.4 millimeters. Let's look at the top. 41.6 millimeters. That gets us 1.64 inches. Let's go to this side. That gets you 2.14 inches or 54.5 millimeters. That's the actual case itself. It's very flimsy. Very cheap, flimsy, but it's a case. Open that off, it just pops off. Reminds me of the MSR cases. The MSR cases are a little thicker plastic. Here's the stove. It's big and it's heavy. Let's just do from top to bottom. That is 75.5 millimeters or 2.97 inches, almost 3 inches high. Open this up. We should have 4 legs. Once opened, these parts that flare out. Okay. We got a piezo lighter. Now, if you notice here, there's like a little gap. Every time I squeeze it, it seems like it's getting closer and closer. Now, this stove goes for $12.99. $12.99 on Amazon. That's $12.99 US. You got a gasket here and an inside gasket. They did not give any extra gaskets for this. The little arms that flail out are a little flippity floppity. It doesn't take much for them to flip in and out, but the rivets seem okay. And they have little blockers right there to keep it from going any further. Now, one thing I do like about this is that. Kind of locks it in place. So open that up. Now let's weigh this bad boy. All right, so let's look at this piece by piece. Here's our AOTU stove. That gets us about 3.2 ounces, 3.2 ounces. Add the cup and the lid. That's about 3.8 ounces, 3.7, 3.8. Remember, this is approximate. Now for point of reference, let's weigh our Trangia stove. Zero that out. Trangia stove is 3.8 ounces, 3.8 ounces. Remember, neither of them have fuel. You need a lighter for the Trangia. For the AOTU, you have the piezo lighter, igniter, but I would always carry a lighter with this. I don't see it failing yet, but you know, remember, this is a cheaper stove, and hopefully it'll last. But like anything else cheaper, it's cheaper. Here's the sizes we got. We got the AOTU on the left and the Trangia on the right. With the AOTU, once we put the alcohol on top of this, it's going to take more room. So we have this here. All right, so we have this here. We open this up, and you should be able to see it at the beach. The scenes with me on the beach filming this. So we have this. It's a great little stove. 12 something bucks for it. It's definitely a deal. Last, who knows? Because remember, this is the initial look at. This is not a total review. So let's look at this. Let's turn the gas on. 2 little flicks. I can see the heat coming off. It's coming over here because we're getting wind from the ocean. Let's turn it off. Let's just barely turn it on. There we go. Barely turn it on. All right, let's try it on high heat to start off. Well, it works. It lights up. Now all we have to do is give it a try. So final thoughts of this stove. Is it worth $13? Yeah, it's worth $13. Would I rely this on a hardcore camping trip where my life relied on it? Probably not. A lot of the parts seem jiggly, but then again, this may last forever. So you got to try it out. You got to see if it works and if it works for your situation. But for $13, if you're looking for a stove just to get started out in camping, this is the way to go. Go for the cheap ones, but remember, down the road, you might want to spend a little extra money. Because my BRS stove, which is very inexpensive, I would trust my life with it. So do what you will, give it a try. Now for the most important part, let's give the coffee a try. Yeah, it's very dull, very dull. And we got a seagull about to attack my blanket. Please click like and subscribe. Remember, I do this so you don't have to. I review it so you don't have to. I camp it and hike it so you don't have to. Please click like and subscribe again. Give me a second to save my blanket from the ferocious seagull. Have a great day. Out of here.